There's a huge chance you haven't used or heard about these functions on the GoPro Hero 9 Black, or the GoPro Hero 8 or 7 for that matter, and they really add some crazy functionality to GoPro cameras. Want to find out how to enable them for your GoPro? Stick around. My name is Vic Barry, and for tips, techniques and thoughts on filmmaking and making vids, hit subscribe, especially if you find this video useful. For what I'm about to show you, you're going to need a few things. A GoPro Hero 7 Black, Hero 8 Black, or a GoPro Hero 9 Black. An SD card, and a computer to download a very special firmware from GoPro Labs. Once you download the firmware, unzip it, dump it onto a freshly formatted micro SD card, stick that into your GoPro, and then turn it on. Your GoPro is now going to update itself with this new firmware, which is very different from what you've got on there right now because it adds quite a lot of secret functionality. Side note, this won't damage your GoPro or remove any settings. Well, look, that's what GoPro says. And I'm sure it's fine, but if anything happens, then, you know, I'm not responsible. Look, mine hasn't exploded yet. So what are all these insane new settings and functions? And keep in mind, not everything might run on some of the older GoPros, but look, you've got camera motion triggers, which leverages the camera's accelerometer to capture stuff when the camera is moving. You've got USB power triggers, so basically once your GoPro kind of sees, okay, there's USB power, it's going to start turning itself on and recording. And if there's no USB power, it's going to stop it. So like it can work like a dash cam. There's motion detection, so it'll detect any kind of motion. There's simplified live streaming. There's a ton of stuff. But where are they? See, these aren't going to be found in any menu within the GoPro itself. And this took me a while to figure it out. Maybe I should have read a bit more. But instead, you're going to have to point your GoPro at a specific QR code which will enable some of these cool new functions. Now, maybe you could keep a bunch of these QR codes on your phone all the time so you can be just ready to rock. They're all pretty easy to set up. Just use GoPro's on-site QR codes. You can make any changes to some of these and then scan the QR code by holding it up to the camera. So for example, this is an interesting one, by the way, the single setting one button mode. So if you want to hand the GoPro off to somebody that's not really too confident with cameras, or maybe it's one of the kids and you're afraid that they're going to hit something or hit a button and stop everything, this basically just allows them to press one button and that's it. It will stop recording, which is really good if you're going to kids or parents. Now, if only they would teach them to hold the camera properly, but yeah, anyway. These aren't the only settings that are available via QR codes. There's quite a lot on the GoPro Labs page, from extra long time lapses to simplified sunrises and even sunset captures. But there's a huge problem with all of these, at least in my eyes anyway. I'm never, ever going to use any of them. Simply because the whole idea of scanning QR codes, I think, it's a bit cumbersome, it's a bit dated, I think anyway. Like, some of the ideas are really good though, and it's fantastic, actually it's amazing that GoPro allow users to get a glimpse of what could potentially be coming down the line in future cameras. But why not provide a custom firmware like this is that allows these settings to be enabled in the camera menu system, or just like an extra menu that you'd swipe again? Look, I get it, that's more development time for devs and that could cause more stability issues, but look, I don't know, maybe this is just me. Let me know in the comments, would you try any of these QR codes out on a regular basis? Would you even use them? Drop a comment below. Regardless though, it's still an interesting feature to have. Now, speaking of things that are interesting, this GoPro video right here will really bring your GoPro game to the next level. See you on the next one. And until then, don't stop fighting for yourself. QR codes. Where are we? 1985?